Assassin's Creed is another shitty-ass video game movie starring Marion Cotillard and Michael Fassbender. If you were looking for Justin Kurzel, I think is his name, if you were looking for him to be the savior of the video game genre, guess what? That's an affirmative hell no. And it's based off of the popular Assassin's Creed video games. You guys should know what those video games are. In this one, Michael Fassbender plays a guy who is on death row for murdering somebody. He gets a get out of jail or get into jail free card when Marion Cotillard and her company, which is called the Templars, they have this machine called the Animus that can basically put his mind and consciousness in the mind and consciousness of his ancestor 500 years ago. And the whole point of that is that there's this MacGuffin, there's some kind of magical artifact that they're looking for that supposedly can do something to take away free will or some shit. So he is sent back to 1492 to be in the Brotherhood of Assassins. And so there we have our movie. At this point, it's fair to say that no one should ever feel any kind of anticipation for a video game movie ever. If you're a fan of the Assassin's Creed video games, if you're a fan of the Assassin's Creed lore, there's definitely parts of this movie that are going to appeal to you visually and the way that they do certain things to honor the lore of Assassin's Creed. If you're a fan, you're going to enjoy shit like that. The leap of faith and the running on rooftops and the assassination stealth kills and, you know, the blades. Also, this movie had the potential for great action scenes. I could see that potential in the movie. That's why they say that potential and reality, two completely different things, because the reality is... Hey, can you guys do me a favor, real quick, just for me? Can you guys observe who the guy is in that picture in the Assassin's Creed? Who is that guy? Oh, it's the assassin, right? You notice how on all the games and even the marketing posters for this film, they put the assassin on the cover? Why do you think that is? Maybe it's because we actually want to see the assassin. Maybe it's because the assassin is the biggest and most important part of your movie. I kid you not, guys, if I had to break this down percentage-wise, 70% of the movie takes place in the modern day, 30% takes place back in the day. There's only a handful of assassin scenes. Right off the bat, you're not giving the people what they want, what the people signed up for. Most of the movie takes place in the modern day. But you know what? I wouldn't even have a huge problem with that if the modern day scenes had anything of interest going on in them. The problem is the modern day scenes are so boring. You know why that is? Because the characters are equally boring. There is nothing happening in 2016 in the modern day that made me interested in this movie. So when 70% of the movie focuses on that, you almost want to fall asleep. Marion Cotillard feels like she should be an interesting character. The problem is all she really does is sit around in rooms and explain stuff to people. She is walking exposition in heels. And all she really does is try to explain everything to everybody without explaining anything to the people that matter. The people sitting there watching the damn movie. Michael Fassbender's character, he's just unforgivably bland. There's just nothing interesting about him at all. There's nothing. I am given no reason to root for this guy, to feel invested in this guy. The character development in this movie, shitty all around. He's just a killer. We never even really find out the circumstances of why he's on death row in the first place. And Jeremy Irons, no need to talk about him. He's collecting a paycheck. Anybody could have been Jeremy Irons in this movie. But you know what? I could have even put up with that. And I would assume that at least the action in the past is pretty good. I would assume that at least the action sequences themselves have a lot of bite and juice to them. So we have good action scenes, right? That should be an automatic win for this movie. So we have good action scenes. No, we don't! The action scenes in this movie had the potential to be good, but every time something cool was happening in the past, they immediately ruined it by switching over to the present and showing him doing the action while the action was going on in the past simultaneously. It is so jarring action scene. It just jumps back and forth, back and forth. It doesn't stay in the past like it should. Every time he throws a punch or jumps off a bridge or jumps off of a rooftop or flips off of a wagon, they have to show him in this Animus thing doing the exact same thing in the modern day world. It is so jarring and it just ruins the action sequences. And towards the end, the movie just collapses under the weight of its own stupidity. I mean, random bullshit just starts happening for no reason at all. There's so much random, illogical bullshit happening at the end of this movie that I felt like Vince Lombardi sitting there watching that shit.
What the hell's going on out here?
Guys, in the end, there was a lot of potential for this thing to look good. The trailers look good. The promotional art, the costumes, everything else looks good. If you're an Assassin's Creed fan, there's going to be a couple of things about it that if you're a fan of the lore, you're going to be interested in seeing. But as a film, no, this is epic fail. This isn't kryptonite bad. It's really more like a piece of kryptonite that you would find in A Quest for Peace. Nope, no more. Done. I'm not looking forward to any more video game movies. I've learned my lesson. What is your favorite video game that you have ever played? Your favorite video game, any platform, any console. Comment below, let me know. And as always, if you like what you see, tell me how you feel and stay tuned to hear more from the Man of Steel. Peace.